My sister, professor, medical university, laparoscopic surgeon, she was calling me to ask me about what athletes take, steroids and other hormones, and how they can interact with anesthetics. I just remember laying down and talking, and then all of a sudden you hear that drill. Like, what the fuck? And then you can smell something. It smells like, what is this? It's a bone.
On today's IFBBAMA Podcast with Chris and Milos, we had Jose Raymond back on. Jose Raymond is an incredible bodybuilder, as many of you guys know, one of the best 212ers of all time. I think he's been an incredible advocate of the sport. We talked about the Arnold documentary. We talked about our current history of surgeries, all these injuries that we sustained over the years, and then moved on to gyno surgery. PED users tend to get a little gyno issues. Many people get through puberty, and some people even get it through smoking too much weed. We talked about new equipment, some of the new equipment that's coming out, Panada, new tech, and then D-ball and some steroid stories, some of the fakes, some of the counterfeits that started out, and some of the rare compounds that were popular back in the day. It's definitely a good listen. Jose is always great to talk to. But guys, please subscribe. If you have any questions, comment below. And of course, I will see you guys next time. Yeah. Jose, my man, what's going on, dude?
What's happening?
Oh, another beautiful 108-degree weather in Texas.
Yeah, you guys are getting killed over there, huh?
Yeah, it's not too bad. Where I am in Dallas, it's flat, so it's windy. So it's like windy heat, and the humidity is kind of low. So honestly, Lexia is all dramatic about it. But I mean, I walked yesterday for 20 minutes outside at 104, and I barely sweat because the wind and the humidity is low. So yeah, it's whatever. It's better than 5 degrees.
It's the opposite in Boston. It seems like it's been raining for 3 months.
Oh, fuck. I don't miss that. How's weather in Vegas, Milos?
It's good. I mean, listen, I went to Jacksonville last weekend, and I could see the humidity in Florida. I don't like it, So when I was moving to Vegas, they were telling me, Milos, wait until the first summer. It's such a crazy heat. I didn't even feel it. 2 summers already. I mean, shit, it's dry. I have a pool. You want to jump in, that's it. And yeah, it's not bad at all.
Humidity makes a huge difference.
Hell yeah.
91 Olympia, Orlando, because I didn't have much money, and then they put the goddamn protein and everything else. But then I was cheap to pay for a taxi to go to the supermarket. So I just walked, right? It's like around the corner. By the time I came back, my tan was gone. So it was cheaper to pay a taxi, Yeah, but anyway.
That's funny.
So how's your back? You got a shot?
Yeah, today I went for this epidural in the lumbar on both sides, So it's cool because you can see the screen. So I was watching the needle and everything. Yeah, it's like that.
Long.
Pressure. But I didn't take any anesthetics or anything, just the local. They say, we can sedate you a little bit. I said, no, it's not necessary. I'll tell you the freaky story. You remember Orville Burke when he yeah. So shortly before that, maybe less than a year, my sister, professor, medical university, laparoscopic surgeon, she was calling me to ask me about what athletes take, steroids and other hormones, and how they can interact with anesthetics, because they were getting a lot of bad reactions of the athletes being on something and then go under, and going to the coma and all kinds of stuff. So even when I was doing my surgery, my patella tendon exploded. She warned me not to do it, and I didn't. I just did the local one. And I do remember, because I didn't know what kind of surgery they're going to perform. I just remember laying down and talking, and then all of a sudden you hear that drill. Like, what the fuck? And then you can smell something. It smells like, what is this? It's a bone. They're drilling my like, what? And then immediately, I felt it. So the doc told me, there's no way you feel it. But I guess my mind connected vision of a drill and a bone and all that stuff. I start feeling it. But anyway, why do I want to say this? So Orville Burke gets injured in my gym in a photo shoot, and I do remember as they're taking him to the paramedics, right, in the hospital. I came to him. I just told him this. Listen, I don't know what connection is, but don't don't go under. Do auxiliary. Do just don't go under. And of course, probably guy didn't take me seriously. Like, what the hell? And if you remember, he went under and went like 1 month in a coma. So anyway, today they were asking me if I want something. I don't need anything,
So what was the complication that he went into a coma? Do you remember?
No, but he went under and didn't wake up for like a month.
So Chris, when I had my hip replacement surgery, my doctor told me specifically I had to be like 3 months off of anything because of the complications of either bleeding or blood clotting. And it's a possibility Orville got some sort of blood clot and may have put him in a coma.
Yeah. But I do remember this. So if you don't have to do, anesthetics, like, okay, well, just for a little bit of comfort. I mean, it's a little bit pressure, a little bit pain, but that's why I chose today not to do it, because right away you have to sign all this paperwork and no, I don't want to do any of those. Trying to be a tough guy. There was the ladies there, like nurses.
Hey, I'm with you. When I this is a funny story. I had gyno surgery, and you guys know my dad's a physician. He's never done gyno surgery before. So I asked him about it, and he goes, I'll give it a shot. And he goes, but you're going to be awake. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. He goes, you'll be fine. We'll just numb the area. So like, he goes, just let me know if I hit a tender area, let me know. So I'm like lying on the table. This is like on a Sunday. My dad's got like a flannel on. He's got like jeans in the doctor's chair. And he's like trimming away and tracing the nipple. And he flips the nipple over. And I feel him start to cut the tissue out. And I'm like, ow. And he's like, oh, okay, hold on. Goes in there with Novocaine, numbs around the area again, goes back in, starts tugging on it. And dude, it was like, I didn't even have that bad a gyno, but when they pulled it out, it was like, it was massive. It was like the size of an old school flip top cell phone. And he removed the mass. And he goes to me, what's that?
Are you serious? That much?
Oh, yeah. So like, when you look at it, it doesn't look very big, but it's an iceberg.
And mine looked like a tadpole. It had a big chunk and then a tail that went up to my armpit.
No shit.
It was huge. It looked just like a tadpole, big like you're saying, and then a long tail that went all the way up.
I wish I had a videotape. That would have been good material. It would have been funny as hell.
Yeah. Now that you say this, I'm going to tell you, because probably you guys never seen it. I go to the bodybuilding contest in England, and I'm watching this. Like, I can't realize, like, what is wrong? What is like weird? What is it? And then I realized guy had no nipples. And I think his last name is Connolly. I'm quite sure now because it was Phil Connolly from the Matrix. Yeah. So I guess he went to not your father, but somebody else that wasn't really that much experience and skilled to the gyno surgery. So he removed everything, including the nipples.
Well, what's funny is when my dad was flipping the nipple over, he goes, listen, don't move. He goes, because look down. And I look down, he goes, you see these two little veins that are feeding the nipple? He goes, if I trim that, he goes, your nipple will die and it will fall off. And like, I start laughing and he goes, no, I'm serious. He goes, if I nick that, your nipple's going to die. It's going to fall off. You'll have one nipple.
There you go. Maybe that's what happened to the other guy.
I heard a story about, I think it was Rolly over at Kuwait, and they just came to his hotel room to remove the gyno. And it was just some guy in his hotel room, just came with some scissors and blades and whatever, and just cut it out right in the room. No hospital setting, nothing.
That's incredible.
Man. Oh man.
That's incredible. I've had so many clients, like, they go get quotes and it's like $5,000, 10 grand. I'm like, dude, go back to them and tell them that you want to be awake. As you said, Milos, don't be put under. You're going to scratch out the anesthesiologist. They might just give you an Ativan and local anesthesia and then walk. And then the bill comes down like by half or even 2/3. And then the surgery ended up being only like $2 or $3 grand.
Yeah. Well, when we're talking about this incidents and the surgeries, I have my my patella tendon when exploded, right? And there was reattached and everything else. I do remember that the surgeon, I asked him after the surgery because my sister asked me, which antibiotics did he use? So I asked him, which antibiotic, did you use? He said, I didn't use any. He just didn't use any. Okay, I guess that's how it's supposed to be. Like 2 days later, my leg is like this, exploded, like all this, dry, like you can make the mountains and all that stuff. And I took a bunch of photos. So, I'm calling him. It's like, maybe, I need to come back and, oh, no, just around, where you at, whatever your address is. And I was, visiting somebody. So he took the address, came to the house, just like this guy go to the hotel room with Raleigh, right? And then he saw my leg. He made a little incision, right? And I had the gloves. There was this much dry blood, right? I took a bunch of photos. If I put on Instagram, I would probably be deleted. But it was like, geez, you doing this in a room? Like, no fucking any sanitation measures and anything? Yeah. So I can imagine that this guy did it in Dubai.
Dude, so like, how they put drains in sometimes, right? When they do the gyno, they do the drain so the pressure doesn't build and it gets to drain. Well, obviously my dad's not a surgeon, so he's like, you should be fine. If you're not fine, he goes, I'll make a little incision and then we can drain it. So like 5 days later, the right one's healing lightning fast. I'm like, Dad, the left one looks like I'm growing a fucking tit. It's getting bigger and bigger. And he's like, well, let me see. I come over and show it to him. He goes, yeah, you're about an A cup at this point. So we go to his office and he makes a little incision. The same thing, Milos. He makes a little incision and he goes, all right, dude. He goes, don't move. He goes, I'm just going to squeeze your boob like a zit. Yeah. And he squeezes it and out comes like a cup and a half of like grape jelly, right? It was like dark red, thick. Oh. And he said it was, I think it was like a liver clot or something. And then once he drained it once, sealed it back up, then it healed lightning fast.
Did you have a compression wrap around it?
Yeah, he just told me to wear ace bandage, to keep it low. But I mean, dude, I was back at school 2 days later, carrying my book bag around. I was back weight training 7 days later, just doing like single arm stuff, some leg stuff. I didn't do chest for like 3 weeks, and I was able to do rows in 2 weeks.
Wow. Yeah, my doctor had me lay off for like 8 weeks.
That seems to be, they overdo it because they don't want to tell you something and have it fuck up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jose, you had a hip replacement surgery?
Yeah.
And right now, if you, wake up and you don't know that this is what happened like a few years back, would you know that this is not your hip? Do you feel something different or?
No, it feels awesome. It feels better than before. Yeah. I was in pain for a long time and didn't even realize it. And now I literally don't feel anything. It feels so good.
Did you like skip? Like when you bend over and stuff like that before?
It used to lock. When I sit on the couch, I'd go to stand up and it would unlock. And now my right one is kind of doing that. It's sore as well. I'll have to do that eventually.
That's mine is doing it for a while already. Yeah, I guess so.
What's the life on the hip, Jose?
It'll outlast me.
Okay. Yeah,
That's technology. What my doctor said. He said it'll last 50 years. You're good. Don't worry about it.
You're like, Doc, I'm gonna live to be 120. What do you mean?
Yeah, that would be great. But hopefully by then they could redo it. I don't know.
That's
But
awesome.
he also said, he's like, use it. He's like, if you can squat 500 pounds, squat 500 pounds.
No
He's
shit.
like, don't try any new records. But if you're strong and you've been squatting 400 or 500 pounds all along, go ahead. So within 5 or 6 months after the surgery, I was deadlifting 500 pounds again. It was great. I mean,
Was it weird at first?
yes, because as Milos said, my hip, my quad was this big because just all the fluid. It took a while, a couple weeks for the fluid to get out. And then I was having weird phantom pains like in the hip. And the doctor said it was because during the surgery, they actually use a clamp to grab the femur and pull it out of the incision so they can stick the implant in it. So, you're going 2 hours with a metal clamp around your bone. And that's what I could feel. He's like, yeah, that's the phantom pains I was having.
Phantom pains are I have phantom pains in all my broken bones. All the bones I've ever broken, randomly, I'll be like, ooh, feels like feels like it's real odd, such an odd, and it happens at random times. There's no like rhyme or reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Jose, what's been going on, dude? I haven't obviously I talked to you yesterday on the phone, but what else is going on in the Jose life?
Not much, man. I'm busy helping people, training people, working, doing my thing around the house. I'm here in New Jersey. I got 6 people competing in the universe. I got 3 girls competing tomorrow and 3 guys competing on Saturday. So yeah, I'm busy doing what I love to do.
That's what it's about, man. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
You travel to all the shows or just kind of the big ones?
No, I just can't. I work. My weekends are my busiest times, for training people because a lot of people got to work during the week. So I have sometimes 8 to 10 appointments a day on the weekends, and that's a lot of money to lose to travel. But on certain occasions, bigger shows, I'll go, especially if I have multiple competitors at a show. I'll go, but I obviously can't go to every show. I wish I could.
Yeah. So Monday's probably your slowest day.
Yeah. Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday are when it really ramps up.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
So I have a question. You have 6 competitors, three ladies, 3 guys, right?
Yeah.
How different are they in this last days before the show? I mean, we have some people you cannot fill up with anything, it's never enough. And then you have the ones that can touch and just like blow up, so you have like,
it's funny, Milos, you probably know this as well as anyone, and you, Chris, that when someone's in shape and they've done all their work and they're in really good shape, they're the less needy. They don't need much. They're not stressed. They're not bugging you. The people who haven't done every check, they're the ones that are stressed out and, texting you every 5 minutes. Can I eat this? What about that? Should I do cardio in the morning? I'm like, no, just relax. By this point, at a couple of days out from a show, you should be relaxed, ready to roll, excited, and thankfully, every person I have here in this show is a workhorse. So they're all in shape and ready to go. So it's been easy. It's been actually really fun seeing them. And, on Sundays, I have all of them come into the gym and pose for me. And we, make sure their posing is perfect. So you've been to Gym Hub. It's a great atmosphere in there. And everyone loves to come in and we have a good group of people that come in to pose and go over everything. So it's been week after week after week. So they're all on track perfectly.
I haven't been to that gym yet. I can't wait. When I come up to see you and spend a week there, obviously I'm going to train there, but I'm excited. Everybody I've known who's gone there are always like, dude, it's a great gym. And they say the same thing you just said. It's an excellent atmosphere with the people there.
Yep. Nate is awesome. You've obviously met Nate. he is, the most positive guy and so laid back, but he's a stickler for the atmosphere. Like when there's kids on the phone standing in the middle of the gym talking on the phone, he'll come over and be like, either go in the lobby or get out. There's a different version of Nate. And if there's someone on a machine texting, he'll say, get up right away. And he's all over everything because he's there all day. He makes sure that the atmosphere is 100% ready to roll. And it's just awesome. So, there's a great crew that comes in there regularly and just keeps the place awesome. Yeah.
That's how it should be, though. I mean, that's the era. I know you guys grew up in arguably, I agree, a better era than my starting era in 2004, 2005. But like that didn't exist at all. People always turned their phones off, and people trained, and that was it. And now it's just like, I mean, my gym is a great gym in regards to equipment, but the atmosphere is unfortunately that demographic where everybody's got tripods and phones, and some people are on their phone texting and doing 6 minutes between each set. And I usually go over to them. I go, listen, I'm going to work in with you. I'm not asking. I don't ask as a question. I go, I'm going to work in with you because I've already seen them on the machine for 25 minutes. So usually it makes them speed along, or they just go, you can have it, but like, it's just, I'm with Nate on that one, man. And what's really funny, Jose, when I moved to Texas and I started to see all these like TikTokers in the gym, I'm like, people in Texas are weird. I'm like, this is so strange. And then I didn't realize that my gym, much like Nate's gym, didn't allow that at all. So I was kind of sheltered to all of it. So I call my buddy Nick. I'm like, Nick, Nick, Universal Gym.
Oh, yeah.
You got people doing tripods and taking their shirts off and flexing and all that. He's like, oh, God, the hell no. He goes, I'll throw them out. And I'm like, oh, that's why. I thought that this was not normal, but apparently it's normal everywhere, but these gyms that don't allow it.
Yeah. The good
thing.
thing also about Gym Hub is it's not a public gym. So you don't have, 1,000 teenagers paying $25 a month to come in and just take over the place. People that go there are there for a specific reason and they understand. If you were to pay every day, your membership would be $260 a month. It's pay as you play kind of gym. And it's too expensive to be. He lets the tripods go, but it's respectfully. Like you're not going to put it in front of a machine where someone can't get to it. And any kids that are taking, and it happens. There's a lot of college kids in there. They'll be taking their shirts off, and Nate'll just be polite and say, finish that pose and put your shirt back on, or get out. And he does it in a good way.
Yeah, I didn't allow in my gym, in Colosseum gym, there is no way you can take a shirt off. Unless it's a Flex magazine photo shoot. I mean, and I have people doing this and take it off. I said, no, you can't do it. First strike, second, third, you're out. I didn't allow people being like kissy and all that stuff. You're there about to squat, and this fucking pair is like kissing, right in front of me. I mean, it's illegal. It's illegal to tell them, right? I'm a gym owner, but I was so fucking irritated. I say, man, don't do this shit here. So, well, you can show your affection. I said, no, there's many times you can show your affection. You're not in the gym to show the fucking affection. Train, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I also didn't allow the phones, which again, somebody could probably sue me for it, because
Can they though? Can they? If you say, hey, like, just don't be on your phone all the time in the machine.
I mean, so I was just like one of those grumps. In my contract, when you sign for Colosseum Gym, on the back is like, don't say hello to Milos and his athletes on the gym floor, okay? And don't bother him or them when they're eating. Even when they're eating, you have to sign it. And there were people, I mean, really. So let's say, Jose, and you know that. Like, let's say you're training for the Olympia and you're going against Flex Lewis, and every single workout, it has to be like do or die, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm training you right there, for example, week out, And here comes Chris. Now, of course, Chris would want to say hello to both of us, right? Because you just say, but then if you allow hello, then it's going to be, how you doing? And then, how's that? And I was so goddamn, I didn't allow none of that, which people were so pissed off at me, like, oh, yeah, first time I've seen Ottoman, he came from Germany, I can't even say hello. No, wait until he finishes, then say hello and take him somewhere,
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned the eating thing, because a gym that I worked at prior to Nate's gym, there was a set of tables near the front desk, and I would sit there and eat my lunch. And every time I sat down to eat, people would come over and think it was time for question hour. And the closer I got to a show, the more irritated I'd get. I'd be like, dude, I'm just trying to eat. I would stuff my face so full that I couldn't talk. And I'd be like, really? You're going to ask me questions while I'm eating? But that used to drive me nuts as well.
So it was in my contract. I'm serious.
I mean, honestly, I think it's common courtesy. I mean, I'll kind of toot my own horn on this one. Like when Evan was competing for New York Pro, and all the times we used to train with each other, and then he eventually would start training with Oscar, PJ and I would see Evan in the gym, and PJ and I would go train. We wouldn't even talk to Evan. Evan might come over and be like, hey, how's it going, guys? But I would leave that up to Evan to say hi. Yeah. Evan's like in the zone. Oscar's beating the living crap out of him. So like, let that happen. If he wants to come over and say hi. But like, I understand the focus. And especially when someone's eating, like if I see Evan, you read the room, right? Evan's eating, looking down. Hey, that means you don't want to talk. Right? I'm just going to keep walking, Dude, hope everything's good. Talk to you later. That's it. But I used to hate that too. I used to, in my own, as a dietitian working at the hospital, anytime I was competing, I would immediately always go to lunch early before everybody else go to lunch to eat and be in the office so nobody could talk to me. And then I'd go sit with them for 20 minutes and talk and then leave. Because I don't want people asking me the same fucking question every day. What do you got? Fish, rice, avocado? Yeah, same shit every day. Hasn't changed.
Dude, that's gross. Yeah.
No, it's so good. I love that.
It's delicious.
Yeah. I was not much of the fish either,
You guys don't like cod?
I mean, I said I put yesterday. Oh, did you see about an hour ago on Instagram? Some guy ate 72-ounce steak in Texas.
I saw that.
72-ounce steak in like 5 minutes or something.
Oh my God.
Holy shit. Yeah. But anyway, I said, yesterday, if you want to look like a chicken, eat chicken, fish, eat fish. I want to buy some.
Wait, was the 72 ounces with bone in?
I think so.
That's Texas thing. I'll find it and forward it. I mean, I usually, hold a second. I shut off because my Siri was going off.
It was still disgusting.
4.5.
I don't know how anyone can do that.
If it was all meat, he ate 4.5 pounds of meat in 5 minutes.
Okay, what's the biggest steak you ever had? Both of you.
I split a 64-ounce steak with my dad, but that was bone in.
I was in Mexico, with my, training camp, and there was like 10 of guys, and we went to some Argentinian steakhouse, and okay, so you can order 400, 500, 600, 800 to 1,000, right? So a bunch of those guys ordered like 1,000. So it's like, okay, I can't take a second seat, so I ordered 1,000, and I couldn't eat it, shit, I failed. They finished it, I didn't. And for me, the golden rule was you can never, ever, ever throw away, a gram or bite of protein. So that was, I failed. But second time I went in Australia with Luke Wood's brother, Adam. So we had another attempt for a 1 kilo, 1,000 grams, not bone, like fillet, and I finished it. So 1,000. But wow. I think I said that story. I don't know if you guys heard it. When I went with Serge Nubret in France, and we went to the restaurant, right? And so he, in French, whatever how you say it, his usual. and his usual was 2 kilo steak,
What?
2,000 grams. That was his usual. So
Usual, like on a regular basis?
yeah, regular. Yeah, that's what. Yeah. So I guess he had that infrequent meals, not like exactly intermittent fasting, but he didn't have like 6 small meals. He would have like 2 or 3. Yeah.
I wonder how that works.
Dude, look, that's the steak. It doesn't have a bone.
That's the guy. Okay. Yeah. There you go.
72 ounces of that steak. That's insane.
Yeah. I heard that Ty Green used to eat like big ones, and then George lowered it.
It has to be finished in 1 hour.
This guy is finished in 5 minutes. You know, like that TV show, there was a guy that there was a bet if he can eat 55, Big Macs. And yeah, there was a bet for like $1,000. That was 3-4 years ago. So
You're right.
he ate 60. And
Oh
then
my
they asked him,
God.
why did you eat 60? He says, I was still hungry after 55.
Milos.
Yeah.
The dude finished 72 ounces of steak in 4 minutes and 18 seconds.
How? You didn't even chew it. He couldn't have
dude,
chewed it.
You have to be strategic in how you cut a steak, because if you grab a big piece that's too big and you waste too much time, your fucking jaw, bro. It must be like small piece swallow, because how do you chew 70 ounces of meat without your jaw reaching muscular failure?
But now you brought back the memories. Back in the day in Serbia, I didn't have the money for. Actually, I was supposed to eat like boiled fish. There was oslets in my country, but it was too expensive. I couldn't afford it, and I couldn't even afford the chicken breast, but chicken liver. Now get this, chicken liver, but then boiled chicken liver 5 times a day. That, when you boil it, I mean, you can chew all you want. I mean, it's not going down, So you have to just make like a few bites and then wash it off with the water. I was doing this for 4 weeks, 5 meals a day.
Jose, back in the day,
livers are good.
Where boiled, okay.
Yeah, I never had that.
Yeah, boiled. You're not gonna. And listen, if you make it with nice little spices and oils and all this shit, it might be nice 1-2 meals. Third time you can already get sick of it, but 5 a day, man.
Yeah. Milos, did you ever do the orange roughy?
Yeah, yeah. When it was popular, mid 90s.
but why was it? Isn't it high in fat?
Yeah.
But it's not digestible fat, so it goes through you.
It goes through you. Yeah, I'm telling you, you can see so many accidents in the gym.
Oh yeah, it's so delicious though. It's really good.
So it relieves constipation, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be,
sure.
You're gonna oil up all the way through. Yeah, it's disgusting. Yeah,
I loved it.
Yeah,
it was so good.
Yeah.
But I got to the point where I could only have 1 meal of it a day.
Yeah.
And for a couple of weeks, I was having 2 10-ounce meals of it a day. And it, just like you said, it wasn't sustainable.
Yeah.
You ruin furniture, you ruin clothes, because that stuff don't come out.
Is it cheap? Is it cheap?
I put it this way, don't fool yourself that you think you can fart.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't gamble on that.
Yeah. No way.
Jose, did you used to eat your food, your prep food, plain back in the day?
Yeah.
Like no salt, no pepper, nothing?
Yeah, it wasn't until I got way further into my career, to the peak of my pro career, that I started using flavoring, sugar-free ketchup, or back in the day it was just Mrs. Dash. That was it. That was it.
We had this conversation. Milos had this conversation about how like, back in Milos's day that like they would boil chicken with no
Yeah, I
salt,
did
no
too.
pepper, and like no condiments. Now today's day and age, everybody's got like 40% of their food intake is just fake flavoring crap.
Yeah. Early
Yeah.
2000s, I would boil a giant pot I'd go to the butcher and buy a package of chicken this big, like 4 pounds of it, and boil all of it at one time and just, stab it with a fork and boil it and then put it in a Tupperware and take it out. I'd eat it with my hands.
Did you ever double boil?
No,
Because
because it was like rubber anyway.
already, I know, but imagine this freaky thing. I remember anytime in the 90s, if I would go to the restaurant and any meat that they bring you, you take the napkins and like clear all the oil. Everybody's looking, what the hell are you doing? But hey, this is how it was.
It's funny, but
Times have changed.
You remember the Molly McButter?
Yeah.
oh yeah, I
Yeah,
love
that was like a treat when he came. Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Molly McButter. Then I switched to Can't Believe It's Not Butter.
Yeah.
And that worked out just fine. I used to put that on my egg whites every morning. As I went along, I was getting away with more and more and more. I think the bigger I got, the more calories I burned just walking around. So I was able to get away with it.
Yeah, I tell you this, how we wouldn't touch any sweetener or anything. But then I was in this European Grand Prix tour, I think it was 91, yeah. And Vince Taylor and Ron Love. And they would put the goddamn sweetener on potato. And all over the place. And it's like, shit, yeah, they're gonna hold water, let them do it, right? And they didn't. I said, oh shit. And then Sonny Schmidt was traveling with me. Hey, look at these cunts. so he started doing it too. And then, every so often you're not as strict, but I tell you, like Charles Claremont, he would not touch anything other than water, right? All the way for like 30 days before the show and stuff. Yeah, I mean, we should suffer a little bit.
Well, my observation is, I wasn't in the era. I mean, I definitely had things playing when I first started because that's what I believed you needed to do, right? It seems like today versus back then, what was do everything I possibly can to be the best version I can, regardless of how uncomfortable I am. Now, I feel like a lot of people have the mentality of how can I get this result by using the easiest method possible, the least painstaking method possible. And unfortunately, that doesn't always yield the best results, or it comes into problems. It's like always thinking about how to make things easier. Well, let's not worry about why people are hyper focusing on that versus doing whatever you can to get the best result. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there is that maximize or compromise, right? And suffer. So they're two extremes, right? So maybe you came from the school, like back in the day, I know I was, you have to suffer. Oh, to achieve that kind of look, that ripped, peeled, you have to suffer. So you used to suffering. And if you're not suffering, you're wondering if you're cheating, right?
Yeah.
But then you have the other, I can get away with this, I can get away with, well, then you're getting away, but do you really get away with it? You compromise. You're not as ripped as you could be. Skin is not as thin and all that stuff, So
well, you suffer now or you suffer later. That's the thing. When I would eat stuff, if I use sweeteners, sugar-free maple syrup in my oatmeal or something, I was also doing 2 hours on the step mill every day. So I got away with it, but I probably didn't have to do so much cardio. It was one or the other. I liked to eat and I liked to do cardio. So it worked for me, but that wouldn't work for everyone.
I hated the cardio. But I was saying to the guys, like, I didn't do cardio. Then I look at my journals and it's like, oh shit. I did a 2 cardio a day, like every day for like the last so many weeks before the show. But would I remember? I said, no, I didn't do cardio. So why did I put 2 times 60 minutes every single day, like 4 weeks out? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess sometimes you selectively have a memory of something. I hated cardio. I don't know how you guys do it. I mean, I passionately hate it. But I did buy from Lou Ferrino. He had I remember that Cybex bike. I mean, there was probably 500 pounds, that huge giant. You remember the one with the like TV screen? It was like this big. Yeah, so I would use that one. Then a recumbent bike and a treadmill. I tried those stairs. I maybe did stairs like 4 or 5 times in my life.
God.
It kicked my ass. I can't do it.
I've done it 400 or 500 times.
Yeah, I actually bought it. I had it in my garage, but my ex was doing it, and I chose not to.
I've grown to like cardio as I gotten older. I hated it when I was younger, but even now today, I can't wait to do cardio tomorrow. I'm like excited to do it. I get excited to do it almost just as much as I do weight training now.
You do the boxing, right?
Well, that's 3 hours of my cardio a week, but like I like to do extra cardio too, like mountain bike, rollerblade, or I even do the stepper still now too. But when I do the rollerblade or mountain bike, like I will fucking rip that bike, riding like a maniac around my neighborhood to try to get my heart rate up because it just feels good.
Yeah,
Milos is
that's
like,
exactly what it is. I get a little bit of a high from cardio.
Yeah,
I immediately feel better.
especially and then after you feel great, you get more energy through the whole entire day.
No question.
I was doing a walking, like 45 minutes walk in the morning. Even when I was doing those circles a couple of times, like I did this, but then I have to catch my breath. Like I'm so out of breath. Yeah. But yeah, lately I've been skipping again, like with the excuse, like I have my lower back hurts. Yeah, hey, we are creatures of all the excuses. I can come up with excuse like, when all these athletes are coming up to me and start telling me, oh, no, listen, that's excuse number 17 on the page 5, don't even go there. Yeah, I know all the excuses. Yeah, nowadays, okay, you were saying people you're in comfort zone. You don't want to try to get out of the comfort. You want the easiest way. You're supposed to, as we talked about the other day, try to make this exercise the hardest possible way. Hardest, good pain, muscle pain, right? But not easiest. You're looking for the easy way out. You actually, how you can steer up the ship. How can you make this now super intense? This is how I'm looking at it. So anybody that has this excuse, and as soon as they come in, I have this, I have that, I have that. I say like, well, you could either train or, go home and come back when you're ready to train.
Yeah.
When 20-something-year-old is already telling you they have all kinds of problems, what the fuck? I mean, come on. Jose, you were training like a maniac and all that stuff. But did you have every joint injury in your 20s?
I had some things, but never stopped me. I couldn't wait, and I'd find a way to train around it.
Yeah, if you do have it. But I swear to God, when you look at it, something upper body, it's either shoulder or elbow, lower back, if it's legs, it's for sure knee. I mean, goddamn, you squatted.
It's the pussification of America, and everyone trying to make everything easier. And that's what technology's doing, making everything easier on these kids. So they don't want to diet hard. They don't want to train hard. Everything is made to be easier today, but it's not yielding the best of results, as you can see. Everything around us is getting lesser. In my eyes.
Yep. That's why there's a line at the gym with the pendulum squat with the reverse band doing quarter reps. Because they're loading up the weight using reverse band and doing the pendulum squat. This is the best exercise. You don't see a lot of people free squatting anymore. I never see the hack squat being occupied anymore, or at least the Cybex hack squat. The Cybex hack squat has the side. That thing's heavy, right?
Straight up and down.
Yeah, that thing's real heavy. You don't see people on that thing.
Yeah, I give it away because nobody in my gym wanted to train on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. These 3 plates are like, oh my God, it's kind of heavy.
Yeah, I was talking to Lee Priest yesterday, Antoine and Gigi. They call us for a podcast. Lee is still squatting.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say, yeah, you're 5'2", so it's easy for you.
You thought it though. You thought it.
Yeah,
Wanted to.
yeah, I wanted to. So yeah, he had a
Some
great.
people are lucky. Lee doesn't have joint pain. Jay doesn't have joint pain.
Yeah.
I'm a mess.
There's
I
a
could
dude.
probably squat, but my hips would be my right hip will be gone sooner than it needs to be. But my shoulders, I can't bench press anymore. I can't do overhead press.
I'm going to tell you this one, and I swear it's not commercial thing at all. This new tech Korean company, they had a hack squat. Okay, the one that you hold down, it's low. They have a true squat is also phenomenal and a hack squat, but this one, every gym on this planet Earth should have it. I mean, even when you have a knee pain, you go in, and I promise you, you're gonna hardly feel anything. The one that I post on my Instagram with Regan, he did we started like with the 6 plates, and then the 2-3 reps, and add 7 and add 8 and 9, 10, and then go down, ascending, descending. But that particular one, in a gym hub, you guys should order it. It doesn't take more space than this sofa, right? It's like
Who makes it?
it's a new tech from Korea. I promise you, and especially if you have any kind of joint pain, like a hip, knee, anything, I promise you, you're going to be able to train your craziest workouts, put the load on the quad, feel it, and zero on the, one of those things when I expect the pain, I want pain because I'm supposed to feel the pain. And it was a zero pain. Like, oh my God.
Is that at the torture gym there?
Torture gym, yeah. If you come, you have to try it.
New tech hack squat.
New tech, yeah, the hack sweat, low hack sweat.
What do you think that costs?
Sorry?
How much do you think it costs?
I have no clue. I should ask. Yeah, I really have no clue of gym equipment costs. Yeah, I'll find out.
Oh yeah, let me know. I'll look it up.
But I put that's the one. Yeah. Does it say the price?
I don't see the prices. Probably inquire within,
Yeah. I'm not kidding you. Every gym should have it, because hundreds of people from the gym, when they try it, they're gonna just be glued to it. I mean, you cannot come to do the workout and not train on that one. I promise you. That's how good it is.
How's the rest of their stuff?
Very good. Back stuff, you would love it. I mean, next time you're coming, I know that you're usually coming to the Dragon's Lair, but go one day and test the equipment.
Oh, absolutely.
Nate, especially, because I know when I was in Gym Hub, he had all kinds of different equipment. It's not like uniform one.
No, that's what makes it great.
Yeah, but pick specific pieces. Yeah, I do remember that Nate had that, some kind of squat machine that was excellent.
The swing squat.
Yeah, whatever it's called.
Great.
Yeah.
Randy Coyle's swing squat. He's got the Atlantis hack squat. That's incredible.
Yeah.
He's also got an Atlantis side raise machine that is unbelievable.
Is Atlantis still making new equipment?
Yeah.
I always see older stuff. Every time I go to the gym, it's always like some older 90s models or maybe early 2000s. I don't see like new stuff of theirs.
Oh yeah. They're constantly updating. I went to, like 2 years ago, I went up to Montreal. That's where their headquarters is. And they had stuff I didn't realize the company was that old, stuff from the 80s all the way up to modern day stuff. It was a 55,000 square foot gym. It was incredible. All brand new and old.
What about Panada? What do you guys think of Panada? This new jump they're making?
I like it, some of their stuff, but I've talked to a few gym owners that have a lot of it. If you have a public gym with 5,000 people using it, it has a lot of pieces and parts that can break down. Extra little rivets and screws and different pieces. So they have some really good stuff, but that's the complaint that I've heard, is that if it is a commercial gym where it's being used a lot, that there are some parts that can break down on it. But it looks fantastic. If it's in a private gym, it is really good stuff. Yeah, that's my take on it. Really
I
good.
tried too many pieces. So to be fair, my ex in Serbia had a Penata equipment in the gym, but it was like older generation, and it was, to be fair, so. It was not. When you go into the piece of machine, you want number one, functionality. So it doesn't matter if it looks certain way, if it doesn't feel the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
The angles are just not, and the load is here is too much, here is not enough, and then you release and stuff like that. And I'm going to tell you this about the New Tech Torture Gym. The owner is one of those fanatics, right? He would look at you, Jose, I guarantee you, and look at your movement and look for your bone structure, for your the movement, and he would try to tweak around to customize for you. I mean, it's amazing. And he really looks like, okay, if you're supposed to rotate, like you do the supination just slightly, he would make the handle so you can supinate a little bit. It's so innovative. It's wonderful. When I went there for grand opening, he was there. Hardly speaks English, but you could see he was like looking at Regan doing something, looking at Nick Walker, just what he can do to even furtherly improve. So
does the gym owner own the equipment company as well?
No, the gym owners are good friends. Jason and Ellie. They got the deal with Korea, so they have a New Tech USA.
Okay.
It's but I tell you, it's probably underappreciated right now because not too many people tried it. So I was saying this at the grand opening. I put my reputation. You cannot find, a piece that you're not going to just fall in love with. It's going to be great, or you're going to be completely in love with it. That's how it feels.
Wow.
When you ask, back equipment, they have about 6 different rowing machines, one better than the other. Jesus, and presses, and I love their incline, decline, and flat bench. This was going to ask you: are you mainly still doing a free weights, Jose, or you're throwing in a lot of machine work?
Myself or with my people?
Yourself, when you train.
Yeah, I still love free weight movements. But now as I have pain issues, I incorporate more machines today for sure.
And for your clients?
More free weights.
More free weights.
Definitely. I make sure that everyone does the staples, deadlifts, squats, bent rows, bench presses, dumbbell side raises, one arm rows. It's important. Dumbbell pullovers. So, I know just through experience what built my physique, and, what I got the most bang for the buck, and it was always free weights.
But okay, let's analyze that a little bit. We did it back then because that was expected, and there was no much variety, and you can you learn the skill, and you know how to use the muscle. But now when you talk one arm dumbbell rows, or the simulated one arm dumbbell rows on a machine, so where would be the benefit of the dumbbell? Really over it. The stuff like that.
So
99.
the benefit is stabilization when you're using free weights versus a machine. So other muscles come into play. So one would argue that with a machine, you get more targeting of the muscle you're trying to hit, where I would argue you're going to build more muscle overall because you're stabilizing using free weights.
Yeah, but
So
that's
a younger lifter who's trying to grow, who's trying to put on muscle all day long, I use both, but I make sure that in every workout we're using a couple of free weight exercises.
yeah. I mean, I know that I was getting in arguments with those experts when they say, "Oh, you should isolate." It's like, well, what happens if you don't isolate? Oh, you build additional muscle, like that's a bad thing, you know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no.
No, there's no one way to skin a cat, but I've learned through the years that there are certain things that are tried and true. And I like to experiment and try different things, but I know that the basis of what I do will always come from free weight movements. Chris?
There's certain things I think I think there's nothing better than dumbbell presses. Like I think dumbbell presses are one of the best exercises for chest, period. I could be totally just based on my own personal experience, but like with clients, I always feel like there's the least issue with people. People are like, oh, I hurt myself on the Arsenal machine. I hurt myself on this machine because it's like a fixed axis, right? They're probably training a little too heavy. But like dumbbells, I don't really hear people be like, oh man, hurt myself on dumbbell press today. It's always like, I hurt myself on bench press, hurt myself on the Smith machine press. I hurt myself on this machine when it comes to pressing. And then obviously you have your cables, your pull downs, your rows, which are always considered a machine, a staple. People hurt themselves all the time and they do barbell row totally incorrect. I see that done like they're doing a shrug, you know?
Yeah.
Is New Tech a new is it new company?
I don't know, actually, probably a few years at least.
It's new technology.
Yeah.
Thus the name, New Tech.
I guess so, right? I don't even think about it. Yeah, it stands for something. They have a M torture line. I say as soon as I say M torture, I mean I'm known for torturing anyway, and my initial is M, so I say I want to accept that one. But hey, Jose, I have to tell you this to tease Chris. There was a moment when I said, like, "Oh my God, he's not going to fall asleep again." last time we had a podcast, and I remember when I was talking about de novo lipogenesis, which is okay, a little bit maybe boring and shit like this. And then I'm looking at Chris. Chris is just like, she's like,
Jose, it's so fucking bad. I felt so bad. I'm like, dude, I'm like, this is what happens when you're 40. I don't even remember being tired. I don't even remember. And then he goes, Chris, you're asleep. And I go, holy shit. I don't remember. Like, I'm like, that's dangerous as fuck. And like, Lexia caught me downstairs a couple of times. I'm like sitting at the table and I'm doing computer work and I'm talking to her. And 2 seconds later, I'm like, she's like, yo, I'm like, what? She's like, I was talking to you. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, oh my God, can't believe it.
What is the last thing I said? That's what I had before when I would fall asleep. And I deny. Okay, what is the last thing that I said? Okay, I have no idea.
And for the record, what you're saying wasn't boring. I don't remember shit. I think I have narcolepsy.
Oh man,
it's because you're up all night.
I don't sleep
early.
Yeah, I don't sleep very long. I don't like to sleep. I like to keep moving.
How long do you sleep?
I go to bed at 11. I get up at 4:30.
Oh, wow.
Oof.
Yeah, you're doing an Arnold thing. Sleep faster, right?
Like I just can't sleep. Like I wake up. I don't need an alarm. I just wake up.
Yeah, hey, did you guys watch Arnold's Netflix special?
It was incredible.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
I was calling everyone after I watched it. I'm like, you got to see this.
Do you see it back
so
to back?
well done.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to watch it tonight then.
Did you see all 3 episodes back to back?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Can't stop.
Yeah, you can't stop.
It's really that good?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's one of the best documentaries I've ever watched. Like,
no shit.
Yeah. And just how great the cinematography was. And how good it was put together. I mean, they didn't spare anything in putting this together. You can tell the high quality production.
I said you're gonna fall in love with Arnold again, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's the man for sure.
I mean, he's definitely the man. I definitely fell out of love with him for a while there, but
Me
you know,
too. I still always appreciate him, and it touches the little kid in me that first saw him, and how charismatic he is. And I mean, the guy is he is brilliant. He's a lot smarter than he was ever given credit for.
Yeah.
And I mean, his story is pretty incredible. Yeah, they have pictures of him from grade school and all the little kids next to him. And then Arnold's head is this big. Like, you can pick him out of the lineup like that. He looked the same his entire life.
Did you see on Instagram, like a couple of weeks ago, they had a picture of Ronnie, 18 years old, and Dorian, 18, and then Arnold.
Yeah. I didn't see that, but I can imagine
18,
Arnold was huge.
It's like Arnold was huge. Yeah, it was a different ball game.
I wonder, have you ever heard, like, when did he start with
13.
anabolics?
13.
13.
Yeah, that's yeah. That's
Wow.
what I remember. Yeah.
I knew it was young because by 19 he was a full-grown man, 220 pounds or something.
Yeah.
And then at like 25, he was over 250, and he lost to Frank Zane.
Yeah. We talk about this. Frank Zane was on the podcast. Yeah.
Or he wasn't even 20. I think he was 22 when he lost to Frank Zane.
I think it was 68, right? I think it's 68, and Arnold is 15 years older than me.
13 years old.
29. Shit.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Back in the day when D-ball cost like 25 cents.
Yeah, right? And it was real?
Yeah. Fakes didn't exist anywhere.
No.
Exactly. There was nothing. And then there was the Russian and then Romanian D-ball. I mean, those
Russian D-ball.
Russian D-ball, metronestenolone or metandienon, and then Romanian. Oh my God. I don't know if you guys, Naposim, the brand name.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, those kind of things, like, I mean, you take 2 a day and you feel it, right?
I remember how counterfeited those were in the early 2000s.
Hey, get this, that Thailand pink ones, the
Pink ties?
Yeah, the Anabol or whatever it's called, but it's the Anabol. When I went there to see Dennis, he sent me to this pharmacy. So now I'm there in a pharmacy and by myself, and I order that Anabol, right? And I'm getting it. Okay, and I'm just about to leave, and Dennis comes in and start talking Thai with this guy, and now he says stop, and he changed my Anabol, D-ball, 1,000 tablets in one, right? I said, what do you mean? Oh, this was fake and this is real. I said, like, hold on a second. Real was like 20-something dollars. I mean, cheap as can be. But it's like a $5 difference to make counterfeit. I said, you would do this for $5? Yeah. And then if you remember, they look identical. They look, pretty much the same and everything. Yeah. But the real ones were like super hard, and you have to like bite on it to try to break it. And these ones you can just push it and crush it. But the example was that even in the pharmacy, you're thinking you're buying for sure the real thing. It looks like it, but it will be completely different. Well, I tell you this. Test propionate for England, you remember Viramon? That was like water-based test. It was beautiful. And I do remember when I was with Dorian in England, and he was showing me again, there was like 5 little ampoules in a box and looks identical. Well, this was fake. This was, real. So even at the late 90s, early 2000s, right? that's when they started. This is before the underground labs really kicked in.
Yeah.
But so underground labs were making fake stuff.
Yeah.
It's amazing how the length people go to make that for that little money.
Especially there, yeah. I was like, oh my God. So
Just buy the real thing and then sell it for markup.
Yes.
Milos, what is the water-based test? What was that called?
Test suspension.
Suspension.
No, that's
I heard that was
that's a
really
white one.
painful.
Yeah, that's a white one, testosterone suspension. So from Czech Republic, it was agovirin.
Yes, I've used that.
Yeah, it was beautiful but painful as that was super painful. But this one was clear, water-based. It was beautiful. I'm telling you, test prep in it. But test suspension, if you can
What's the benefit?
sorry?
What is the benefit of test suspension?
Pre-workout.
Super fast. It's super fast, right? And it's kind of bioavailable more, so you get more for per milligram, right? Like you take 100 milligrams of this or 100 milligrams of something else. That's why agovirin was 25 milligrams cc, right? Yeah.
Wow.
And it gives you that hardness. I mean, so many other athletes from other sports were using, suspension.
And suspension's non-detectable after like 24, 48 hours. It's like completely gone.
Yeah, but also gives you that aggressiveness and,
Big time.
Do you ever try a sublingual metal test?
Yes.
Yeah. That was one of those things that would make you rage.
Machine.
Yeah.
You didn't want to leave the gym.
Yeah.
I remember Evan's like, dude, try these. We got test suspension. He's like, dude, 100 milligrams, like 90 minutes before you train. I didn't want to leave the gym. I was just like, endless pump, getting stronger. It's like I do the same weight, the same number of reps to failure for like 4 sets in a row.
Yeah.
That methyl test stuff they used to sell over the counter.
Yeah. They had it in Dominican Republic for roosters. For rooster fights. They would give it to the roosters and they would fucking go berserk.
Yeah.
So you can buy it, and the rooster was on a bottle. Probably you can still buy it in Dominican Republic. That's
Wow.
crazy.
Methyl test on a rooster. Oh my God. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man. Hey, Jose, I don't want to keep you too long, dude. It's awesome coming on and catching up with you. It was fun just to kind of spitball and have a good conversation.
I always appreciate your contest reports because I really like the way how you dissect it and everything.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I love doing it.
Yeah. And on that note, now I'm going to maybe revisit. Remember after the Olympia, when you guys were already talking about Olympia, and then I came and asked that one question, how does Nick Walker's physique beat Samson's physique? That's exactly how I structured it on purpose. And not saying he didn't deserve to beat him, right? But I put this, and you instantly said on conditioning, right? So which level of conditioning is enough to overcome this kind of balance, shape, aesthetics, all that stuff. So anyway, but I appreciate it, so
that's the interesting thing because, that's where it comes down to the person, to the judge, to the individual. Because to this day, I still wouldn't have had him beating Nick Walker. I just because of, and I'm like a stickler for condition, but if it's balance and shape, then yes.
Did Rich Gaspari ever beat Lee Haney?
No, but then no, that's a great point. But I don't think that was even close in muscularity. They weren't even close. Where Nick and Samson are comparable with muscularity.
Conditioning is beautiful. By all means, you guys appreciate it. You were known for it. I mean, Chris, your conditioning was spectacular. But there's a fine line, and I always said that example, and you probably already heard. I completely changed my mind from Joe Weider's instructions. Did I tell you that story?
No.
Yeah, so 94, I was peeled out of my mind, dry as a bone, conditioning like you cannot. I mean, when you're just super happy, it's like, yeah, hell yeah, anything, you move, it's there, dry, it cannot be better. But I placed like 13. So I go to European Grand Prix Tour. I say, fuck it, I'm just gonna come fuller, because I was kind of criticized I'm not big enough. So it's okay. And even fuller, my condition was still good, not as good, but and I was beating like Porter Cochelle in every single show in Italy, Germany, England, all the countries, right?
Yeah.
But it was not even close to that condition. And I went to Joe Weider's for photo shoot, now even a couple of weeks after the European Grand Prix Tour. And first thing he told me, Milos, why did you look like this at Olympia? You would be top 6. And I'm thinking like, come on, Joe, like shit, you don't want to say this in front of Joe Weider, right? But then he goes, no, come here. So I took some Polaroids right there. And then he took a Polaroids to his table, there's the pictures from the Olympia. And then he showed me pose by pose. Here, Polaroid, when for me, I'm off big time, not even compared. I was dry as a bone here. I'm not. But then I'm looking at these 2 pictures of goddamn, the
shape.
This physique beats this. What I gain here and I lost in conditioning and dryness way outweighs this here.
Yeah.
So this is how I look at it. Yeah. You as a coach, you finish your job if they're bone dry. Oh, if it's a little bit flat, nobody's going to say much because, that conditioning was great. But which physique would win? And at that level, I mean, look at this. It's $300,000 an honor classic title for, and he just tried condition. I think if he was more freaky, he would be more challenging. Oh, he pushed the wrong button.
He did. He did. Oh man,
that's for sure. He got the phone call. And I do this all the time.
I've done that before in a business call. I was like on a business call, and I went to go mute somebody, and it's at the top of the screen. And you push the top of the screen, and you hit the end button. You're like, no.
It happened to me so many times.
Should we wait for him to come back on?
Yeah, probably just to say goodbye because.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just gonna pee real quick. Obviously, they'll edit this out.
Yeah. Yeah. It's again nice talking to you, Chris. Time.
Is he back?
No. Yeah, you can probably.
We'll just stop here and then let's see if he texted me. No, he didn't. Fuck it. We'll just stop here. We'll edit it and then kind of go from there. That was a good conversation. That was good free flowing stuff. We got some good topics.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who should we bring on.
I'm gonna ask Kareth again. As you know, Kareth won the New York Pro.
Yeah.
And then Kareth is obviously it's June, July. So he's not prepping for Olympia yet, but he will be. It would be nice to talk to him on the start of his prep.
Yeah, it would be.
All right, Milos. Good talking to you, buddy. I'm glad your back's feeling better. And then I'll get back to you next week. If you guys enjoyed this podcast, check out the recommended clips here.